I need to like take a second and calm myself down before I start this because wow. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a book review on The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. This video is completely unplanned. I had really no intention of filming a book review on this, but then I finished reading it last night, or I guess technically this morning because I finished it at, I think it was like 4 or 5 in the morning. I love this book so much that I just really wanted to get a review out, and I wanted to have a discussion on this book because oh my god, I have so many feelings. This book is a sci-fi dystopian which takes place in kind of a near future. In this world, there has been a disease which has ravaged the population, and a lot of the children in this world have actually perished because of this disease. And the children who did survive this outbreak have actually come out with powers. Because the government fears these children who have developed powers, they set up these rehabilitation camps in which all the kids who have developed superpowers are sent to be cured. But as we know from usual dystopians, that's really not the case in these camps. And the main character in this world, whose name is Ruby, gets sent here after she accidentally erases her parents' memory of her. And they find out that she has powers and she gets sent to these camps. How these camps work. Essentially, the government has formed a system which divides the kids by colors according to their powers. We have greens, blues, oranges, yellows, and reds. Greens are just usually very intelligent and they're seen as harmless, and these are the majority of the kids at these camps, particularly the camp in which Ruby was sent to. And then we have yellows, who have the ability to control electricity, and while they can be dangerous, they are usually seen as kind of controllable. We have blues, which have the power of telekinesis. Again, like the yellows, they can be potentially dangerous, but they are very well controlled. After that, we have our oranges, which are actually seen as dangerous, and these kids have the power to control people with their brains. They have the ability to go into people's minds and make them do things and stuff like that. So it's essentially mind control, and they are seen as dangerous. And then at the highest level, the most dangerous ones are the reds, which have the power of blowing shit up. Basically, they can control fire, they can blow things up, and they are seen as the most dangerous. So Ruby, our main character, is actually an orange. This is not a spoiler. It's pretty much kind of discovered really early on in the story, so don't worry about that. But when she gets sent to her camp, she actually tricks the scientists who is sorting her into believing that she's a green. And she gets by on that for years until one day stuff happens and she believes that people have actually found out about her being an orange, and she is forced to run away basically because all of the oranges and the reds have disappeared from her camp, and she believes that the government has basically killed them because they are too powerful and too dangerous. You guys can tell just from that explanation. I could tell you so much more, but I really don't want to spoil anything. That is basically the premise of the story. I really loved the world. Everything was really well done. I loved the idea of the color coding for all of the powers. It was a really interesting take on a kind of sci-fi dystopian, which I personally really enjoy and I haven't gotten sick of yet. Another thing that I absolutely loved about this series, this is probably honestly the reason why this book is now one of my favorites, is the characters. The characters are they're just so, guys, they're just so. Ruby, our main protagonist, I adore her. I really liked seeing her development. When we first meet her, I mean, obviously she was 10 years old when they found her and when she was imprisoned in the camp. So in the beginning, she is very scared, and I find that really believable. She was a little girl when she was taken. She was scared for her life. She was scared of being found out as an orange, and I just loved seeing her character develop throughout the book. At the end of it, you really see her coming into her own. I loved her. And then Liam is our love interest in this book, but even more than the love interest, he is just a precious cinnamon roll and he needs to be protected. He is one of the sweetest, most caring, just generally, he's just such a great character. I love him. He is seriously rivaling my love for Kale. Like, they are neck and neck right now. I just adore him so much. And then we have, of course, Chubbs, who is kind of the snarky, more realistic character of this group. I loved him. I loved him so much. And then Suzume, she's a little girl. She is adorable. She is a precious ray of sunshine. And if anything happens to these characters in the next book, I'm gonna lose it because, oh my gosh, they are just so great. You just fall in love with them. You're rooting for them. And I adore them so much. Overall, I actually ended up giving this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I did have reservation regarding something that happened towards the end, which I'm not gonna get into on this video because I don't want to spoil anyone. I really want this to be just a spoiler-free, like, short review on this, but I am actually going to make a separate video for this and I'm gonna have it unlisted. So if you want to hear my thoughts on a little bit more of the spoilery bits that I want to discuss, I will have the video linked right here so you guys can go and check it out. It will be unlisted, so only those of you who have read the book and kind of want to hear my thoughts on the more spoilery bits can get a chance to look at it. Overall, honestly, if it wasn't for that thing that I will discuss in my spoiler section of this, I honestly would have given this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. I love the character development. I can't wait to see how the story progresses. That ending, I saw it coming, but it still broke my heart. And right now it's raining. Like my last video, I was sweating. It was hot, but California weather is crazy and right now it's raining. But I am really tempted to walk like the 10 miles to my nearest Barnes & Noble in the rain to pick up the second book. Actually, it probably might be easier to just buy it on my Kindle now that I think about it. Why didn't that idea cross my mind? I adore the series. If you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend it. So those were my general thoughts on The Darkest Mind by Alexandra Bracken. If you guys have read the book, please let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. And also be sure to check out my spoilery bit section, which I'll have linked right here again, if you want to hear my thoughts on the other thing that I want to talk about. I feel like if you read this book, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So that is it for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys! This TBR is specifically going to be on contemporaries. The contemporaries I really want to get to this summer.